Okay, hi, good morning, Andy. Online people, please confirm my voice is audible or not.
Yes, audible, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, as part of yesterday's session, we discussed about data proc workflow creation, and we discussed about data proc parameterization for jobs and workflows. Okay, so these are the topics we covered as part of our yesterday's session: data proc workflow creations and data proc parameterization for both jobs and workflows. Now, today we'll start discussing some new topic only, which is the one more new service. So we are going to start discussing about Composer. So as part of today's session, we'll start discussing about Composer. This is the one more GCP service we are having. So within the Composer only, we are going to discuss about the Airflow also. So within the GCP service Composer, we are having the Airflow, and that is the topic which we are going to cover as part of our today's session. So we can able to say actually Composer is nothing but it's a kind of a fully managed orchestration tool or orchestration service. So within the GCP, they given a service called as a Composer. What is the purpose of Composer here? It's a kind of a fully managed orchestration service. And within the Composer, we are getting the orchestration tool called as a Airflow. With the help of the Airflow, what we can do here? We can able to schedule the jobs and we can provide dependencies between the jobs. Indirectly, whatever the activities we performed in the data proc by using the jobs and workflows, we can able to perform the similar kind of activities by using the Airflow. But compared to data proc workflow or data proc jobs, and in the Airflow, we are having few more extra features. At the same time, in the real time, mostly we are going to use the Airflow as a orchestration tool. For that reason, we need to understand how we are going to use the Composer. Within the Composer, how we are going to use the Airflow. All those are the things we need to understand. What is the purpose of Composer? It's a kind of a fully managed orchestration service. Within the Composer, we are having the Airflow. By using the Airflow, what we can do here, we can able to schedule the jobs and we can able to provide dependencies between the jobs. All these kind of activities we can able to perform with the help of the Airflow. Okay. So first, what we'll do here is we'll create Composer instance. Actually, it will take 7 to 8 minutes to create the instance, Andy. So first we'll create the instance. While creation of the instance, we'll discuss about some more theoretical topic. So please open your console. Please open your GCP console by giving console.cloud.google.com. So first we'll create the Composer instance. It will take 7 to 8 minutes to create that instance. During that time, we'll discuss about some more theoretical topics on top of the Composer. So please open console.cloud.google.com. After that, I want to open the Composer service. If you want to open the Composer, so in the search, please give it as a Composer. Then the search bar, just give it as a Composer. So once you given the composer, here you can able to see the service called as a composer. Below you can able to see the description, managed workflow orchestration service. By using this one, what we can do here, we can able to perform the orchestration activity. Please click on the composer. Please click on composer. Okay. So once you click on the composer, you can able to get the option called as a enable API. So please click on that. In my system, I already created the composer instance. For that reason, it's not showing that option. But if you are given the composer first time, you can able to get message called as a enable API. Please click on that. Please click on enable API. So please click on enable API. Once you click on the enable API, then you can able to see the option called as a create. So please click on create. You can see the option called as a create. Please click on that. Sorry, yeah, create environment. Click on that.
It's showing composer 1, composer 2.
Yeah, I will tell you. So once you click on the create environment, you can able to see the two options, and one is the composer 1 and second one is the composer 2. If you observe here, in the composer 1 we are having the airflow, in the composer 2 also we are having the airflow, but in the composer 1 we are not having the auto scaling, but in the composer 2 we are having the auto scaling. In the real time also we are going to use the composer 2, which is having the auto scaling feature. For that reason, please select the second option, composer 2. Once you click on the create, it is asking the composer 1 or composer 2. Please click on the composer 2. In the composer 1, we are not having the auto scaling option, but in the composer 2, we are having the auto scaling option. So please click on composer 2. Okay. So once you click on the composer 2 and so it is asking some kind of inputs here. So please provide your composer name. So here I'm giving, for example, CDE bash 19 airflow. You can give any name, but all the letters should be in the small case only. So you can give any name. So for my understanding, just I'm giving it as a CDE bash 19 airflow. Okay, location, leave it as it is, US Central 1. Image version, it is showing that as part of this instance creation, it is going to install the Airflow 2.5.3 version. That also leave it as is. After that, you can able to see the service account. In the service account, I hope you are going to see the screen like this, Andy. So in the service account, below the service account, you can able to see the option like this. Grant required permission to the cloud composer. Please enable this checkbox and click on the grant button. In the service account, in your systems, it is asking for grant required permission. There, please enable the checkbox and click on the grant button. Please enable the checkbox and click on grant. Okay. After that, it is asking for environmental resources, and we are having the 4 different options. One is small, other one is medium, other one is large, and other one is the custom. Now, whatever the option which we are going to select, based on that, it is going to assign the number of resources and it is going to assign the storage and all that kind of information. For practical purpose, we can go ahead with the small and but if you are going to work in the real time, generally we are going to use either medium or large in our real time projects. But for the practical purpose, what we can do here, we can go ahead with the small. Why we are not going with the medium or large? Because if you are going with the medium or large, what will happen? We need to pay the more money, and from our credits, all the money will be deducted. For the reason, for the practical purpose, what we can do here, we can able to choose the option called as a small. Please select the small. And if you observe here, once we selected the small or medium or large, and here they are given the three different components here as part of airflow. It is going to provide the three different components. If you see the first one, what the first one? We are getting scheduler. Second one, we are getting the triggerer, and next one we are getting the web server, and next one is nothing but worker. All these are the different components we can able to see in the airflow. Just I will copy all these things. So in few minutes, we are going to discuss about airflow architecture. There we are going to discuss about the same things and the scheduler, and we are going to see web server, and we are going to see worker. So next 5-10 minutes, we are going to discuss about the airflow architecture. As part of discussing about the airflow architecture, we are going to see what is the scheduler, what is the purpose of the web server, what is the purpose of the worker. Indirectly, we can able to say all these are nothing but airflow components. These are nothing but airflow components. For that reason, as part of creation of our composer instance, it is asking what type of environmental resource you want to create. We are given the small. Within the small, it is creating the scheduler automatically. It is creating web server automatically. It is creating the worker also automatically. Any guesses what is the meaning of worker here? It's a kind of again one
Machine.
virtual machine, and so within this, what is going to happen? What's the virtual machine? Virtual machine, or we can able to call it as a simply node. So within this only, or our processing is going to happen. Processing or compute activities, whatever the activities we are going to perform, processing or compute activities, and all those activities are going to happen on top of your workers. But it will discuss about what is the worker, what is the web server, what is the scheduler as part of our airflow architecture. But just to try to understand, as part of creation of the composer instance, here we are selecting the option called as a small. When we selected the option called as a small, it is creating the multiple components automatically in our internal composer. What are those? Scheduler, trigger, web server, and worker. After selecting all this information, please click on create. Remaining options, no need to do any changes, and please click on create here. I am not clicking on a create because I already created the composer instance. For that reason, I'm not clicking on the create button. So from your side, please click on the create. Just I'm repeating one more time. We need to click on create. There we need to select the option called as a composer 2, which is having the auto scaling feature. After that, we need to provide the name. We need to give the location. We need to leave the location default. Image also we are leaving it as a default value. After that, service account, we need to enable the checkbox. With that, we need to give the permission for service account. After that, we need to select the environmental resources. Here we are selecting the option called as a small. Once we select the small, what will happen? It is going to create the scheduler, trigger, web server, and worker. All these are the components it is going to use internally in the airflow. For that reason, it is creating all these kind of components, and after selecting the small, then please click on the create button. With that, what will happen? It will create the composer instance. It will take 7 to 8 minutes of time. So meanwhile, what we'll do here is we'll continue with our theoretical topics only. In these 7 minutes, we can able to complete the theory part. Now, as part of airflow, what we can do here is we can able to orchestrate our workflows, or we can able to orchestrate our pipelines. What is the meaning of orchestration here? Which is nothing but we are scheduling our jobs and we are giving dependencies between the jobs. All these activities we are going to perform with the help of the airflow. Now, once that instance is going to create, we can able to open airflow window. It's a kind of it's looking like a kind of a web portal only. So after creation of the instance, what we can do here, I will show you how we can able to open the Airflow window. So it's looking like a kind of a web portal. So in that window, we are going to perform all our required activities only. And here, as part of Airflow, everything we are dealing with DAGs. DAG is nothing but it's a direct acyclic graphs. So in the Airflow, what is going to happen? Everything we are going to deal with the DAG only. So DAG is nothing but it's a kind of a direct acyclic graph only. So in this DAG, what we'll do here is we will define what all are the tasks you want to run, and we will define dependencies between each and every task. See here. In the Airflow, what I'm telling, we are going to deal everything with the DAG. What is the meaning of DAG? It's nothing but abbreviation. It's a direct acyclic graph only. But within the DAG, what we are doing here? Within the DAG, we are going to define all the tasks which you want to perform. At the same time, we are going to provide dependency between each and every task within the DAG only. So indirectly, we can able to say in the DAG, we are going to give all the information, whatever the activities you want to perform. We are going to define all such kind of activities within the DAG only. In the DAG only, we are defining all the tasks. At the same time, in the DAG only, we are going to define all the dependencies also. And indirectly, we can able to say here, task is nothing but, indirectly I'm telling, it's a nothing but it's a kind of a job. Okay, task is indirectly nothing but it's a kind of a job, and DAG is nothing but indirectly we can able to call it as a workflow. Don't think that task is a job or dog is a workflow. Just for understanding, I'm telling like this only. Task we can able to think it as a kind of a data proc job, and workflow DAG I can able to say it's nothing but kind of data proc workflow. Only for understanding, just I'm doing the comparison between our data proc and our Airflow. Don't think that data proc job is equivalent to task only. Don't think like that. Just for comparison, for our easy understanding, I'm saying that in the data proc, whatever the job we created, indirectly that we can able to call it as a task. In the data proc, whatever the workflow we created, that workflow indirectly we can able to call it as a DAG. Okay. Now tell me where we are creating all the DAGs, Andy. In the Airflow, we are maintaining all the DAGs. Within the DAG, what we are going to maintain? We are maintaining our tasks. At the same time, we are going to maintain the dependencies between all the tasks and all this information we are maintaining in a DAG. Okay. Now, while creation of the DAG, what we'll do here is we will create a Python file. So how we are going to create the DAG? As part of creation of the DAG, we need to create the Python file. Whatever the Python file we are creating, that only we are going to call it as nothing but DAG and D. In the Airflow, instead of calling it as a Python file, what we are calling here, we are giving the naming convention called as a DAG. But how we are going to implement the DAG? How to implement the DAG? You can able to say simply by using Python. And what we are going to build here, we are going to build a Python script. Within the Python script, we will define all tasks and dependencies. So what we are doing here, within the Python script only, we are going to define all the tasks and we are going to define all the dependencies only. But in the Airflow, are we going to call it as a Python script or we are going to call it as a DAG? We are going to call it as a DAG only, but indirectly we can able to say DAG is nothing but it's a kind of a Python script. Within the Python script only, we are going to define all our task information, all our dependencies information. But in the Airflow side, instead of calling it as a Python script, what we are calling here, we are calling it as nothing but DAG. Okay. Now you tell me, if you want to work on the Airflow, what are the prerequisites? First one, we need to maintain the DAG. Will you agree or not? And which we are going to build by using our Python script. Now, where we are going to maintain these Python scripts, or where we are going to maintain the DAGs? All the DAGs or all the Python scripts we are going to maintain in the Google Cloud Storage. whatever the DAG you are going to create, which is nothing but whatever the Python script which you are going to create. So where we are going to maintain the DAG's information or Python script information, we are going to maintain all the Python scripts, or we are going to maintain all the DAG's information in the Google Cloud Storage. And that's the reason. So we need to maintain the GCS bucket. Within the GCS bucket, we are going to maintain all our Google Cloud Storage, and we are going to maintain all our DAGs. This is the first thing. Second thing, if you want to access Airflow, we need to open Airflow console. It's a kind of web application, or it's a kind of a web portal. This is the second prerequisite, Andy. So if you want to work on top of the Airflow, what we have to do here? We need to open the Airflow console, which is nothing but it's a kind of a web portal. We need to open the Airflow console, or we need to open the Airflow web portal. By using that, we can able to see all the DAGs, and we can able to see all the jobs execution, Andy. That's the reason we need to open the Airflow web portal. This is the one more activity we are going to perform. And third one, in Airflow portal, we are going to define, or we can able to see job execution, and we can able to see scheduling options. So within the Airflow, so first step is nothing but we have to maintain the Python script. Second thing, we need to open the Airflow console. So Airflow console is nothing but it's a kind of a web portal. Within the Airflow, what we can able to do here, we can able to see all our jobs execution. Indirectly, what is the meaning of job execution here? I can able to say we can able to see our DAG execution. Whatever the DAG which you created, we can able to see the DAG execution, and we can able to see all the scheduling options. All this kind of information we can able to see in our Airflow console. And so why I'm trying to explain all these 3 points here is, as part of discussing about the Airflow architecture, we are going to see the similar kind of information. That's the reason. Once you can able to understand all these 3 points, with that what will happen? Easily we can able to understand about our Airflow architecture. If you want to work with the Airflow, we need to maintain the DAGs. Second thing, we need to open the Airflow web portal. Third thing, within the Airflow, what we can able to do here, we can able to see the DAG execution. At the same time, we can able to see our scheduling options. And other than this, in Airflow, DAGs are executing. For example, DAGs are my jobs are executing. Now, any cases where these DAGs are going to execute, where these DAGs are going to run, or where these DAGs are executing, we can able to say by using workers, or we can able to say by using our virtual machines. And if you remember earlier, as part of creation of the instance, we specified the small. When you given the small, what happened? It taken the number of workers, and which is nothing but as part of running our DAG. Within the DAG, what we are doing? I want to run the jobs. Where the jobs are going to run? All the jobs are going to run on top of your workers, or we can able to call it as a virtual machine. Sandy. So indirectly we can able to say, whenever you are going to deal with the Airflow, we need to understand these 4 statements here. First one, we are going to deal with the DAG. Second one, we are going to deal with the web portal. Third one, we are going to deal with the DAG execution, and we are going to deal with the scheduling options. Or other than that, as part of running our DAGs, where all these are running on all these are running on top of your workers. These 4 are the main things we need to understand as part of our Airflow components. Okay. Now, by seeing all these 4 points, we'll try to understand what is happening in our Airflow architecture. Just I will open the architecture here. If you observe here, this is the official portal of the Airflow only. So this is the also normal portal. It's a kind of a Apache Airflow official portal. So in this portal, you can able to see the architecture of the Airflow. If you observe the architecture, what are the things we are having? We are having DAG. We are having workers. We are having scheduler. We are having the web server. Any guesses? What is the purpose of web server here? Any guesses? See here, actually we discussed about interface. We are going to deal with the web portal. Whenever you want to deal with any web portal, compulsory what need to happen? We need to have the one web server. With the help of the web server only, we can able to handle the web portals. And if you remember, when we discussed about the compute engine, we launched one web page. Hope you remember, Andy. So when we discussed about the compute engine, I think 20-25 days back, we created the virtual machine. By using that virtual machine, we launched one web page. As part of launching the web page here, first we install web server. After that, we created one index page. With that, we launched the web application. Indirectly, if you want to launch the web applications or if you want to deal with the web portal, compulsory what we have to maintain, we need to maintain the web server. Now, as we discussed already, in the Airflow, what we need to do, we need to open the Airflow console, or we are going to open the Airflow web portal. To handle this Airflow web portal, within the architecture, what they are using here, they are using the web server. With the help of the web server only, we are going to get the user interface. At the same time, by using the Airflow, what activity we are going to perform? We are going to perform the scheduling activities. And for that reason, in the architecture, we can able to see one more component called as a scheduler component. With the help of this component only, we are going to schedule all the jobs by depending on our requirement. Now, you tell me, once we are going to schedule the jobs are going to trigger. Where these jobs are going to trigger? Jobs are triggering on top of your workers, Sunday, as we discussed already. Fourth point, DAX are executing, but DAX are executing on what? On top of the workers, your DAX are going to execute. Indirectly, your scheduler will take care of the scheduling. As per the schedule, it will trigger the job. But where that job is going to trigger? The job is going to trigger on top of your worker nodes. Now, if you observe here, how many web servers we are maintaining? 1. How many scheduler components we are maintaining? 1. But coming to workers, we are going to maintain the one worker, or we are going to maintain the multiple workers? We are going to maintain the multiple workers. And what's the reason? Any guesses? Why we are going to maintain the multiple workers? Tell me, in real time, every day, we are going to run single DAG, or we will run so many DAGs. Obviously, if you are going to work in the real-time projects, Andy, we are going to run the so many number of DAGs. Andy, for example, you are running 100 DAGs. Now, can you be able to run all these 100 DAGs in the single worker node? If you want, you can able to run, but what will happen is, if your worker node is completely occupied, then your jobs will go to queue status. What is the meaning of queue status, Sandy? For example, we are triggering the 100 jobs at a time. Out of 100 jobs, 50 jobs are running on the worker node. Your worker node is completely occupied from the RAM memory or normal memory. Any memory is completely occupied. Then what will happen? Remaining 50 jobs will go to the queue status, Sandy. Now, whatever the jobs are running, if one job is going to complete, then it is releasing from the queue status to the running state. If second job is going to complete, then one more job will release from the queue status to the running state. Like that, all the jobs will run one by one as part of maintaining the single worker node. Now, for example, instead of single worker node, I am going to maintain 2 worker nodes. Then what will happen? Same process we can able to complete in fast pace. And instead of having the single node, if you are going to have the 2 worker nodes, what will happen? Same 100 jobs we can able to complete within 10 minutes or within 8 minutes. For example, instead of 2 worker nodes, we are going to maintain the 3 worker nodes. Then what will happen? Same activity can able to complete within 3 to 4 minutes. Indirectly, in the real time, we are going to run the so many number of DAGs, and by depending on the number of DAGs which we are dealing, based on that, you can able to define the number of workers, and otherwise what will happen is, we are selecting option called as a auto scaling. Any guesses what is the meaning of auto scaling as we discussed in the previous classes? As part of auto scaling,
the nodes
by depending on the load,
Worker nodes.
it will increase number of nodes, or it will decrease number of nodes automatically. What is the advantage of auto scaling here? Once we are going to give the auto scaling option, by depending on the load. What is the meaning of load, Andy? If you are running the 1 DAG or if you are running the 100 DAG, that we can able to call it as a load. By depending on the load, what will happen here? It is going to increase the number of nodes, or it is going to decrease the number of nodes. That kind of feature only we can able to call it as a auto scaling feature. If you remember, as part of creation of our composer instance, we selected option called as a composer 2. In the composer 2, by default, what is the feature we are having? We are having the auto scaling feature. If you remember, Andy, as part of creation, we given the option called as a composer 2. In the composer 1, they mentioned that it's a kind of a no auto scaling, but in the composer 2, they given the option called as a auto scaling. Now you can able to relate everything, Andy. What is the meaning of auto scaling here? If you are going to select the composer 2, by depending on the load, it can able to perform the auto scaling operation. With that, it will increase the number of the worker nodes, or it can able to decrease the number of worker nodes. And the same thing, just we are linking with our airflow architecture. So as part of running the scheduler, it will schedule the job by depending on the job execution, or by depending on the job operation. It will assign all the tasks to your workers, and within the workers, what will happen? It will trigger all the tasks. Okay. Now you tell me, what is the purpose of the DAG directory? What we discussed here, first point, whenever you want to deal anything with the DAG, compulsory what we have to maintain? We have to maintain the DAGs. Where we are going to maintain the DAGs? As I told you earlier, we are going to maintain all the tags in our GCS bucket under a directory, and that's the reason in the architecture they are mentioning we are going to maintain the DAG directory. Now tell me, scheduler component can able to schedule the things, but where we are defining all the scheduling things, or where we are defining all the dependencies, or where we are defining all the task information? In the DAGs or the scheduler? In the DAG, we are defining everything, and as we discussed previously, within the DAG only you are defining all the tasks. Within the DAG only you are defining all the schedules. Within the DAG only we are defining all the dependencies in the DAG. But in the internal architecture, who is going to take care of all these things? In the DAG you are defining everything, but in the internal architecture, who is going to handle your schedules, or who is going to take care of the task, or who is going to take care of the dependencies? All those activities will be taken care by your scheduler, and that's the reason scheduler will connect to the DAG. From the DAG, it is trying to understand what are the tasks I need to trigger, what is the dependency between the tasks, what is the schedule of the task. All that information scheduler will try to understand with the help of the DAG. After understanding, what it will do? It will trigger the task. But where the task is going to execute? The task is going to execute on top of your worker. This is the way we need to understand how internally all these components are linking together. And just I'm repeating one more time. Within the DAG, we are defining the task, we are defining the dependencies, we are defining all the schedule. All this information we are defining in the DAG, and we are storing all the DAGs into your DAG directory. This is the first thing. After that, scheduler will come into the picture. Scheduler will try to understand which DAG I need to run, which task I need to trigger, what is the dependency between the task, what is the schedule of the task. All that information scheduler is trying to understand. How it can able to understand that information? With the help of the DAGs, it can able to understand all that information. Once it understands all that information, then what it will do here? It is going to trigger the DAG, which is nothing but it is going to trigger all your tasks. And now where the tasks are going to run? All the tasks are going to run on top of your workers. But all these operations, where we can able to see your DAG is running or not, or what is the current status of the DAG. All this information we can able to see in the Airflow web portal. That's the reason here we are having the one more component called as a web server. With the help of the web server, you can able to see the web portal. In the web portal, we can able to see what is my job execution, whether it is completed or in progress. All this information we can able to see in the web portal. To handle the web portal, we are having the one more component called as a web server. Okay. Now try to give the answer. What is the purpose of this database? What is the purpose of this database? It's very simple. Here we are discussing scheduling activities, and we are discussing task information, and we are discussing about dependencies. All these things, right? Indirectly, we can able to say all these are nothing but metadata of your DAG. Now, where this metadata is storing? Where this metadata is storing? All this metadata by default it will store into your database system, and this is the internal Airflow database. And in Airflow internal database system, all this information will be stored automatically. As a user, you are not going to perform any insert operations or delete operations on top of this database. And this is the metadata database of your Airflow. We are not going to perform any kind of activities on top of your database. Just we are see, or tell me, out of all these components, which component you are going to deal, which component you are going to work? Any guesses? Out of all these components in this architecture, which component we are going to deal? DAG directory. At the same time, this user interface, and by using the user interface, we can able to see the status of the workflow. In the DAG directory, we are going to define all the DAGs and everything. After that, remaining components will take care of all the operations in our internal Airflow systems. And this is the way simply we can able to understand what all are the components we are having in the Airflow. At the same time, what is the interlinkage between all these kind of components. Okay, again, this is the one of the interview question, and they will ask the question, can you please explain the Airflow architecture? Don't try to by heart, and try to understand what all are the activities are happening on top of your Airflow DAG. With that, easily you can able to remember what all are the components we are having on top of our Airflow architecture. Okay, any questions up to here, please ask me. Any questions or confusions? If no questions, I will ask the questions and try to give the answers. What is the purpose of the web server here? What is the purpose of web server? If you want to deal with the Airflow, we need to deal with the web portal, or we need to deal with the Airflow user interface. And how that user interface is working with the help of the web server. Next question, what is the purpose of the scheduler in this architecture? Scheduler will take DAG from the DAG directory. After that, it is trying to understand what task it need to trigger, what is the dependency between the task, and it will send all the tasks to your workers. All these kind of activities will taken care by your scheduler. Okay, what is the purpose of the workers? For the purpose of running the task, or for the purpose of doing the compute operations, or for the purpose of doing data processing operations, your workers are coming into the picture. Now we are going to deal with the single worker, or we are going to deal with the multiple workers. By depending on the requirement, or by depending on the workload, it is going to perform the auto scaling. Either it is going to deal with the single worker node, or it is going to deal with the multiple worker nodes. And with that, it is going to trigger all the tasks on top of your worker nodes. What is the purpose of metadata database? It is storing all the metadata information of your DAGs into your metadata database. And this is the way simply we can able to understand how it is working internally. This only we can able to call it as a Airflow architecture. And here if you observe, they are giving the information for what is the scheduler, what is the web server, all this information. I will give this URL to you in the notes, and please go through this URL just to try to understand what is the architecture. At the same time, try to understand what is the role of each and every component. If you observe here, what is the executor then? We covered everything, but we didn't discuss about the executor. What is the executor? It's very simple, Andy. What I'm telling, scheduler is going to trigger all the tasks. So who is going to handle all the tasks in the scheduler? Your executor. So executor is going to handle all the tasks which are present in the scheduler. Executor will send all the tasks to your worker. That is the way simply we need to understand what is the purpose of the executor. Just I will share this URL in the notes also. After the class, please go through this URL. By using this URL, you can able to understand what is the architecture diagram. At the same time, whatever we discussed theoretically, everything you can able to see here in the notes format. Okay. Any questions up to here? Please ask me.
Yeah, sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Regarding the worker node.
Yeah.
What is the difference between this Airflow worker nodes and the data proc work nodes? Actually, when you're submitting the job in data proc,
both are same.
yeah, the worker node should have all the Hadoop services so that it will run execute.
Yeah.
But here, what is the difference, sir?
So in the data proc cluster, whatever the virtual machines you are creating, those virtual machines are having, as you mentioned, it is having the Hadoop and Spark, all the things readily available.
Yes.
Okay. But here, whatever the workers we are discussing, Andy, these are not going to contain any kind of default softwares. Then what will happen? As part of running as part of creation of the Airflow DAG. So here we are going to use some kind of operators, and with the help of these operators, it can able to take all the required softwares automatically. Indirectly can able to say within the Airflow DAG, we are going to use some kind of functions. For now, just think about we are going to use some kind of functions, and these are pre-built functions. With the help of these pre-built functions, we are going to run all Spark related tasks, or it is going to trigger Spark SQL related tasks. All these kind of tasks are going to happening automatically with the help of the functions, whatever we are going to define in the DAGs. Is it clear? See, in the data proc cluster within the virtual machine, it is having all the readily softwares are available. But comment here, whatever the workers we are discussing, Andy, those workers are not going to contain any kind of softwares by default. but as part of writing the DAG, we are going to use some kind of operators, or we are going to use some kind of functions, and by using those functions, what we are going to perform here, we are going to perform the Spark SQL operations, or we are going to perform the PySpark operations, or we are going to perform the GCS operations. All these operations we can able to perform automatically with the help of some Airflow operators. Okay, in the coming classes we are going to discuss about what all are the different Airflow operators we are having, and by using these Airflow operators we are going to understand how we can able to perform Spark SQL operations or Spark operations, whatever the way we have done in the data proc, same operations we can able to perform with the help of our Airflow operators. But today we have discussed about Airflow operator. Might be tomorrow or in the day after tomorrow session, we are going to discuss about the Airflow operator. Then you can able to get some understanding how we can able to run the Spark jobs, or how we can able to trigger the Spark SQL jobs by depending on our requirement by using our Airflow DAG. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But the performance issue will come, right? Suppose that the services, native services are there, Hadoop services are
See,
there
for
in the
example,
data cluster,
for
and the
example,
data
I can
also
able to
there
say,
in the cluster.
with the help
where
of the
it will run.
Airflow, if you want, you can able to create the data proc cluster also.
Okay.
Okay. So with the help of the Airflow, so what I'm telling here is, with the help of the Airflow operators, we can able to deal any operations on your GCP service, which is nothing but by using Airflow. What we can do here is, if you want, we can able to create the data proc clusters. Okay. Or if you want, we can able to connect to BigQuery. Or if you want, we can able to connect to GCS indirectly. How we are doing all these operations here, with the help of the Airflow operators, you are having the option to create the data proc cluster. You are saying that might be some performance issues will come into the picture if you are going to deal all those things, right? Then what we can do here, with the help of the Airflow operator, on the fly you can able to create the data proc cluster. On top of this data proc cluster, if you want, we can able to submit your jobs. That feature also available by using our Airflow operators only. That only we are going to discuss as part of our Airflow operators. So far, whatever the operations we performed by using the BigQuery, whatever the operations we performed by using GCS, whatever the operations we performed by using the data proc, all these operations we are going to replicate by using the Airflow. But within the Airflow, how we can able to perform all these operations only by using the Airflow operators. There I will cover how we can able to create the clusters by depending on our requirement, how we can able to create the BigQuery tables by using the Airflow, how we can able to maintain the GCS buckets by using the Airflow. All these operations we can able to perform with the help of our Airflow operator. Now what we are saying here, if I'm going to use these workers, it is going to create the performance issues. If you want, what we can do here, you can able to create the data proc cluster by using the Airflow operator. On top of the data proc cluster, you can able to submit your Spark SQL jobs, or you can able to submit your Spark jobs by depending on our requirement. Is it clear?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay, no issues. Any other questions?
Sir, how is this Airflow different, different from Composer?
No, within the Composer only we are having the option called as this Airflow only. Composer is kind of a fully managed orchestration. Within the Composer, they are given the option to use the Airflow. So with the help of the Airflow only, we are going to perform the orchestration.
Okay, so indirectly we are using this Apache Airflow itself, right?
Yes, correct. But instead of using it as a free version, we are using it from the cloud, from the GCP cloud. Actually, in the AWS also we are having the Airflow service. In the Azure also we are having the Airflow service. In the GCP also we are having the Airflow service. Now, without using all these cloud components, if you want, what we can do here, you can able to install the Airflow within your local system. By using that also, you can able to perform all the job scheduling and everything only. But if you want to install in your local system, what we have to do here, you need to maintain the laptop, and in that laptop you have to install the things and you need to take care of everything. But if you are going to use the GCP or AWS or Azure cloud, what is going to happen? Just once we are going to create the instance, automatically it will take care of the installation. Automatically it will take care of all the prerequisites to run the Airflow. Whatever the components we discussed, Randy, web server or worker nodes and everything, automatically your cloud will take care of that. On top of that, we can able to just write the code. With that, we can able to run the jobs.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Just 1 minute, and offline people are asking some questions. Yeah, please.
We are taking the environment. So you have one node and this concept after also taking care of all the workers.
No, actually, as part of Airflow, we are not having any master concepts only, because here indirectly if you observe, as part of this architecture, indirectly, which is the master we can able to call? Scheduler is indirectly acting as a master, but it's not a master node, but indirectly we can able to call this is the master because it is controlling all the tasks. It is distributing the work to the workers. For that reason, indirectly you can assume that scheduler is going to act as a master. Okay. Yep. Any other questions offline people? It's clear, right? Okay. Online people, any questions before going further?
Sir, why there is no connection between the scheduler and web server, sir? After processing all the jobs or task, how it will send the data back to the user on the web portal?
It will poll only. So actually as part of web servers or as part of web portal, it is having the option called as a polling option. So by using the polling, it will perform the operation called as a poll. So with the help of the polling, it will get the status, that information we can able to see on top of your output. In the diagram, they are not representing that polling option, but with the help of the polling only, it can able to get the status, that status information we can able to see on top of our web portal.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yep. Any other questions? Okay, if no questions, Andy, so please go to your composer window. Please verify whether your environment is ready or not. Please click on refresh. If it is still showing it as in progress, please click on the refresh button. By click on the refresh button, you can able to see whether it is completed or still it is in progress.
Sir, in the environment, just we need to give the name and just click on the create, sir. Any other fields? Just I missed.
Which environment only? So as part of
the
creation
composer too. Yes.
Yeah, please give the name only. So please provide the name and please select the option called as a small. After that, please click on create. In between, you are having one grant permission. Please enable the grant permission checkbox. Then click on the grant. Then click on create.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Is it ready or still in progress? That's something I'm checking.
Still in progress, sir.
Okay, for some folks it is ready, for some folks still it is in progress. Do one thing, Andy. If you are seeing the composer instance here, please click on that once. Please click on that composer instance, even if it is in progress. Yeah, actually that's the reason only at the beginning of the session I asked you to create the instance, and it is taking some good amount of time, sometimes 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Please click on that. Sometimes what will happen is in the front end console, it is showing it as in progress. But once you click on that, might be you can able to see the message as a environment is running. Please verify that. Still, if it is in progress, please wait for few minutes only. But if it is showing it as a running, then you can proceed for the steps. Online people, whether it is ready in your systems or for you also, still it is in progress.
Ready, sir.
Ready, sir.
Environment is being created, sir.
Okay, perfect, Andy. So I think for most of the folks, it is ready. For whomever it is not ready, no need to worry, Andy. Within a few minutes, it will be ready. So don't worry. Just click on the refresh button after 2 minutes or 3 minutes. With that, you can able to see the status of your composer instance. Okay. Now, if it is ready, for whomever it is ready, Andy, please click on your composer instance. Once you click on the composer instance, you can able to see this kind of window. In this window, please go to your environment configuration. Please click on that. Please go to your environment configuration. Please click on environment configuration. Okay. So once you click on the environment configuration, here you can able to see all the things whatever we discussed. And if you observe here, what we need to maintain as part of Airflow, compulsory we have to maintain the DAX, and by default it is saying that what is the DAX folder where we need to maintain the DAX. And if you see here, this is the DAX folder, this is the bucket. In this bucket we are having the folder called as a DAX. Whatever the DAX which you are going to create, compulsory you have to keep all your DAX in this folder only. What is the DAX? Is your Python script. Already we discussed, it's nothing but a Python script only. Whatever the Python script which you are going to create, you need to maintain that Python script in your local system or in the Unix prompt, or we need to upload that Python script into the GCS bucket. We have to upload that into your GCS bucket. But in which bucket we need to upload? That is the bucket name we can able to see here, Andy. But tell me, who is creating this bucket? Have we created? No. As part of creation of the instance, by default, it created one bucket. At the same time, Andy, when you are going to perform the deletion activities on top of your bucket, please don't delete this bucket. If you are going to delete this bucket, what will happen? Your composer instance will stop working. For that reason, please don't delete this bucket, because this is the bucket by default it is creating as part of your composer instance. Okay. If you want, please click on this. And tell me if I'm going to click on this, in which console it will go. Any idea? It will go to our GCS console and click on that.
It's not showing.
It's not showing in the sense
Not
still
showing,
your
sir.
setup is in progress, Andy. Please wait for some time.
Showing none.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now see here, it is going to our GCS cloud storage console. In this console, we can able to see by default, you can able to see one Python file, which is nothing but our airflow monitoring.py and D. So here I'm having the one more thing called as a get started py, that which I created actually. But in your system, by default, you can able to see one Python file called as a airflow underscore monitoring. Now you tell me indirectly, what is this airflow underscore monitoring.py? It's a Python script, but what we need to call?
Folder.
This is a DAG. So earlier I told you, right? Instead of calling it as a Python file, in the Airflow, we are calling it as a DAG. Now, indirectly, whenever we are going to create the composer instance, by default, it is creating one DAG, or we can able to call it is creating one Python file like this. Okay, just go back. So for whomever it is not yet ready, please see my screen and please try to understand what are the things we need to understand as part of this configuration. This is the first thing we need to understand, our DAG folder. After that, I want to open the web console. You try to give the answer from which option we need to open the web console. If you see what we are having, Airflow Web UI. This is the URL for the purpose of opening your Airflow web console. And this is one option. Otherwise, if you observe here at the top, what we are having, open Airflow UI, and beside that we can able to see option called as a open DAX folder. If you want to open the DAX folder, you can able to click on this. Otherwise, you can able to click on this also. Both are going to work in the same way. That is first thing. Second thing, if you want to open the Airflow web portal, or if you want to open the Airflow user instance handle, then what you can do here, please click on this one, or you can able to click on this link also. By using any one of the option, you can able to open the Airflow web portal. For now, I'm going to click on this, or you can click on this. Anything is fine, Andy. Okay. So once you click on that, if you observe here what is happening, now you can able to see the Airflow web portal. This is nothing but I'm calling it as a Airflow user interface, or we can able to call it as nothing but Airflow web portal. Just I want to check one thing, Andy. Tell me how this Airflow web portal is working. By using what? In the internal architecture. By using our web server. Earlier I told you, right, in the architecture we are having the component called as a web server. With the help of the web server component, it is displaying this whole console or this whole web portal. Now, by using this web portal only, we are going to perform all our other operations. And indirectly, you need to understand this is the Airflow web portal. In this Airflow web portal only, we can able to see all our DAX or all our jobs information. At the same time, you can able to see the schedule information. You can able to see when it ran, what is the last run, what is the next run, all that kind of information we can able to see on top of your Airflow web portal. Just I will show you one more time how we came to here. Please click on your composer instance. After that, please come to the environmental configuration. Within the environmental configuration, you can able to click on Airflow Web UI. This is the one option. Otherwise, please click on the open Airflow UI here. By using any one of the option, you can able to open the Airflow web portal. In that Airflow web portal, what activities we are going to perform? We can able to monitor whether our jobs are running or not, or whether your jobs are failed, when it is run, when it is the last run, when it is the next run. All this kind of information we can able to see on top of our Airflow web portal. Okay. At the same time, please go back to your previous window. So please go back to your composer window only. In the composer window, just observe here in the resources, what we can able to see. We can able to see scheduler. This is the one of the component in the architecture. We can able to see web server. This is the one more component as part of our architecture. We can able to see worker. This is the one more component we can able to see on top of our architecture. Then where is the database here? We are seeing the scheduler compared to our architecture. We are seeing the web server compared to our architecture. We are seeing the worker also compared to our architecture. And we are seeing the DAX directory also compared to our architecture. At the same time, we are seeing the web server, or we can able to see the web user interface also compared to our architecture. But where is the database here?
These details are stored.
Database we cannot able to see here only because that database is handling internally where all this metadata is storing. this
The
metadata
database.
or DAG metadata, all where all this information is storing internally,
database.
all this information is storing on top of your database. And this is the way just I'm linking our architecture with our configuration. In the architecture, we saw the scheduler, web server, worker, same thing you can able to see on top of your configuration. Without having all these things, we cannot able to work on top of your Airflow. This is the one more way you can able to understand how we can able to link our configuration with our architecture. Okay, so we understood what is the configuration, we understood what is the default DAX folder, we understood about how to open the Airflow. Now what is the next activity? What we need to do? Just will create a sample DAG. So what we'll do here is, first we'll create a simple DAG or we'll create a sample DAG and we'll trigger this DAG from Airflow console. And as part of this DAG, first we'll try to understand how to run basic Unix commands. What I'm doing here, by using the DAG, first DAG and the simple DAG. So in the simple DAG, what I'm trying to do here, I want to run some basic Unix commands. And once you can able to understand the basic DAG or this simple DAG, then what we can do here is, with the help of the DAG, we'll replicate our entire use case 2. In the use case 2, if you remember, we copied the files from the GCS local system to our GCS. After that, we created the BigQuery table. On top of that, we created the semantic zone table. On top of that, we created the semantic zone views. And that is the end-to-end activity we performed in the use case 2. In the same way, coming to use case 3, what we did? We created the Dataproc cluster. In the Dataproc cluster, we created the workflow. By using the workflow, we ran all our jobs and we'll perform the same use case 3 with the help of the Airflow DAG. But before going to the advanced concepts, and first we'll try to understand the how to trigger basic Unix commands by using the DAG. With that, you can able to perform advanced activities very easily. Okay, now we'll see that. Now tell me, I want to create the DAG. Indirectly, what I need to do? What I need to do? I need to create a Python script. Just I will show you that. Okay. So just observe here, Andy. This is the Python script which I prepared, and I will share this with you. Don't tense and don't get any kind of confusion what is happening as part of this entire DAG and I will explain each and everything. At the same time, we are discussing about our Python concepts also in our 11:45 session. Easily you can able to understand what is happening on top of this entire Python script. For now, what you can do here is just to try to understand at the high level what is happening, and I will explain at the high level, try to understand. Actually, as part of this Python script, what we are doing is we are importing some modules. What modules we are importing here? We are importing datetime module. We are importing time delta module. We are importing models module. We are importing bash operator module. And what is the purpose of all these modules are nothing but if you want to trigger the DAG, we need to write some kind of code and but instead of writing the code from our side, we are having the pre-built functions. But if you want to use the pre-built functions, what we are doing here, we are importing some kind of modules. We tell you like this. In Python, we are having pre-built functions to deal with DAG. If you remember, yesterday we discussed about Python features. We discussed about one of the Python features we called as nothing but we are having huge libraries. What is the meaning of huge libraries? Which means we are having so many pre-built functions. What is the use of these pre-built functions? No need to write any code from the scratch level. Already the code is available in the pre-built functions, or already code is available in the libraries. And now, if I'm going to use this library, what will happen? No need to write the code from the scratch level. Indirectly, we are going to use our existing functions by using our libraries. But how we can able to use the libraries in the Python script? For the purpose of using the existing libraries, we are using the option called as a import option. With the help of the import option, we are importing all the existing libraries. With that, we can able to handle all our DAGs by depending on our requirement. For now, just to try to understand at the high level, with the help of the import, what I'm doing here, I am importing the existing libraries which are present in the Python. That is the first thing. Second thing, in the next step, what I'm doing here is we are going to create the DAG. If you are going to create the DAG object in your script, we are given the keyword called as a with keyword only. With the help of the with keyword, we are going to create the object called as a DAG. So see here, this whole thing we can able to call it as a DAG object. Now for this DAG object, we given the name called as a DAG. At the same time, if you observe here, within the DAG, what we are giving only, we are giving some variables. Yesterday we discussed about variables. In the Python, we are having the concept called as a variable. So same kind of variables we are defining here. But where we are defining, within the DAG, we are defining all the variables only. If you see the first one, what is the DAG name? This first field we can able to call it as a DAG name. Try to understand this one again. We are having DAG script name and we are having DAG name. So both are different only. Now tell me here, what is the script name which we are dealing here? What is the script name? This is get started dot py. This is my script name only. Don't get the confusion. So this is not the DAG name. What is this? This is my Python script name. What is my Python script name here? My Python script name is nothing but get started dot py. Okay. Now in this Python script, what I'm doing here, I am trying to create the DAG object. For this DAG, what is the name I given? I given the name called as a first DAG. So what I will do here is my DAG name is nothing but first DAG. Okay. Now once we are going to keep this Python script in your GCS bucket, then what will happen is in the Airflow, you can able to see the DAG name only. Now you tell me in the Airflow console, we are going to see the DAG name as a get started or we are going to see the DAG name as a first DAG. Just I will show you that.
Sir, instead of going this much big one, we will go step by step process, sir. So if you're seeing that itself, we are like it is a different way it's looking.
I didn't get that. Can you please repeat that?
So instead of going that entire whatever existing one we are taking and explaining, we go by step with a new fresh.
I will go step by
notepad.
step. And first, I want to show you one script end-to-end execution. With that, you will get the clear picture how Airflow is working. Before explaining the script only, I told you clearly, right? I will explain this whole script step by step. But here my intention of today's session is I want to show you end-to-end execution of one script. With that, what will happen? You can able to get some understanding what is the purpose of the Airflow and how it is working internally. By using the Airflow, what are the things we can able to capture? For that reason, just I'm showing this whole script. Okay. But in the next classes, what we are going to do here, simply we are going to discuss about each and every line of the code, whatever we are doing. And I'm going to explain what all are the activities we need to perform on this whole script in detail. Don't worry by screen the script only. Purpose of the script is nothing but to explain how our DAGs are running on top of your Airflow, just to give the view of how we can able to understand the Airflow console, how Airflow is showing all the DAGs information. In the DAG, how we can able to see the status, whether it is passed or failed. To see that kind of information, just we are landing with a simple script. Is it clear? Okay. Any other questions up to here?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So as I told you, Andy, so it's very simple. Don't get any kind of confusion, Sandy, and don't be scared by seeing the script also, because this is the simple script and this is the common script we are going to use for any kind of DAG, Andy. So as I told you, first what we are doing here, just we are going to perform the import operation, which is nothing but we are importing all our libraries. After that, we are creating the DAG object. In the DAG object, first what I'm doing here, I am giving the DAG name. Here I'm trying to explain DAG name is different. At the same time, our script name is different. And now, once we are going to upload the script into the bucket, then in the Airflow, what will happen? It will display the DAG, but it will not display the script name. What it will display here? It will display this DAG name on top of your Airflow console. That is the first thing. Next thing, for this DAG, I am giving the description. What I'm giving here, just I'm giving the description as a simple tutorial for DAG and D. So whenever you are going to create the DAG, if you want, we can able to provide the description of the DAG. Whenever you want to provide the description, we are creating a variable called as a description variable. And here just we are given the value called as a simple tutorial DAG in this example. Now, for example, if you are creating the DAG for the data proc, what we can do here? Here we can able to say this is a data proc DAG. If you are creating the DAG for the BigQuery, we can able to say this is the BigQuery tag and like that you can able to provide some kind of description for your DAG. In the same way, here we are given the one more variable called as a schedule interval. As I told you earlier, by using the DAG, what we are doing? We are going to perform the scheduling activity. Here, how to perform the scheduling activity? By using the keyword called as a scheduling interval. With the help of this keyword, we are going to perform the scheduling activity. To perform the scheduling, here we are going to use the keyword called as nothing but time delta. Here we are given the day equal to 1. Any guesses what is the meaning of days equal to 1 here? With your basic understanding. What is the meaning of time delta days is equal to 1?
Every
It's
day.
a daily job or it's a kind of a
Schedule.
weekly job. Simply we can able to say days is equal to 1 is nothing but it's a kind of a daily job and which is nothing but daily it is going to trigger on top of your airflow automatically. This is first thing. Second thing, we are giving one more thing called as a start date. Here I am given the value called as a 2023, 1, 1. What is the meaning of start date? Any guesses again?
At what date it has to start? The DAG start.
Starting date
I'm
of
giving
first
start
month,
date,
year.
which is nothing but from which date onwards you want to trigger this job in airflow. So what is the meaning of start date here? Which is nothing but from which date onwards you want to trigger this job in the airflow. That is the information we are giving by using our start date. But if you observe here, come to start date, what's the value given? 2023 1, 1, which is nothing but given the value called as a 2023 January 1st and now next step, if you observe here, we are having the option called as a catch up. We are having option called as a catch up. Now, for example, if I am going to give the catch up value is equal to yes, then what will happen is it will trigger job from Jan 1st, 2023 onwards. So what is going to happen? If I am given the catch up is equal to yes, then automatically what will happen? We are creating the job on the September 1st only. But even though what is going to happen? If you are given the catch up is equal to yes, it is taking the start date. In the start date, we are given the value called as a 2023 January 1st. What will happen here? If I am given the catch up is equal to yes, automatically it is trying to trigger your job from the 2023 January 1st onwards only. Now, for example, 2023 Jan 1st job completed. Automatically what will happen again? It will trigger this for 2023 Jan 2nd job completed. After that it will trigger job for 2023 Jan 3rd. Like that, whatever the previous days we are having till January 1st only, for all the previous days it is going to perform the catch up operation. But when all these things are going to happen, if I'm given the catch up is equal to yes, then all these things are going to happen. Now tell me, for example, if I'm given the catch up is equal to false, then what will happen? Any guesses? If I am going to give catch up is equal to false, then what will happen?
It will take the current date.
Will it run from 2023 January 1st onwards, or it will trigger only from current date onwards? Any guesses?
Looks like
It will
do we have
trigger
to
only from
manually trigger
current
it,
date.
sir? It will
See
not
here,
run on.
if I'm given the catch up is equal to false, and what will happen is
It
it will
will-
trigger from the today's date onwards, and whatever the today's date we are creating this DAG, from this date onwards only it is going to perform the job triggering operation. But my requirement is, for example, I want to create the job today, but I want to run the same job for all the previous days also automatically. Whenever we are having that kind of requirement, then what we can do here, simply we can able to give the value called as a catch up is equal to yes, and indirectly by depending on our requirement, either we have to give it as a yes or we have to give it as a false. Okay, now currently my requirement is I want to trigger this job only from today onwards, and for that reason here I given the value called as a false. Okay, in the same way for each and every tag we can able to assign the tags also. What is the purpose of the tag we'll cover in the next section, but this is the one more information we can able to provide on top of your tag. Now tell me where we are giving all these kind of variables information. While creation of your DAG object, we are giving all this kind of information. As we discussed earlier, in that DAG, we need to provide the schedule information. Now you tell me how we are going to provide the schedule information with the help of the keyword called as a schedule interval keyword. And we are going to specify the start date information by using the keyword called as a start date. We are going to specify you want to catch up for all the previous days or not. That information we are giving with the help of the keyword called as a catch-up keyword. Like this, just we can able to understand what is the purpose of all these basic keywords. Okay. Any questions up to here, please ask me. Is it clear? If it is clear, now after the creation of the DAG object, Andy, what is the one more activity we need to perform? We need to create all our tasks, Andy. Morning we discussed, whenever you are going to create the DAG, what we are doing here, within the DAG, we need to define all our tasks. Okay, if you observe here, how many tasks we are having? T1, T2, T3, all these are nothing but our individual tasks, Andy. And as part of the task, if you observe here, which operator I'm using here? I am using the operator called as a bash operator. Now, by using the DAG, if you want to do any kind of operations on top of your unit script, then here we can able to use the operator called as a bash operator. In the same way, we are having the GCS operator, we are having data proc operator, we are having the BigQuery operator. On whatever the GCS service you want to work on, we need to use the related operator. But in this example, I want to run some basic Unix commands. For that reason, what I'm doing here, I am using the operator called as nothing but bash operator. Now, within this, just we are given the task ID. What is the task ID I'm giving here? Echo1. Any guesses? What is the meaning of task ID?
Task name.
Task underscore ID is nothing but by using this, we are going to define our task name. You are going to create the multiple tasks, Andy, but for every task, I want to give the task name. Whenever you want to give the task name, then what we can do here? Here we are going to use the keyword called as nothing but task underscore ID keyword. With the help of this keyword, what we can do here? We are going to create the task name. Now, what is the DAG name here? What is the DAG name?
First DAG.
This is my DAG name. DAG name is nothing but first DAG. Now, in this DAG, what is the one of the task name? My first task name is nothing but echo1. My second task name is nothing but echo2. My third task name is nothing but dead. Like that, for each and every task, what I'm doing here, I am given the task name, Andy, because whenever you are going to open the Airflow console, there we can able to see the tasks, Andy, to understand which task is for what. We are given the task name. Here I given the first task name, I'm giving it as a echo1. Second one, I'm giving it as a echo2. Third one, I'm giving it as a dead. Like that, just I'm giving the task name. Okay. After that, what is the next one? Here I'm giving bash command. What is the meaning of bash command? Any guesses? This is nothing but my Unix command.
Linux command.
This is nothing but my Unix command. So whenever you want to give any kind of Unix command, Sandy, we need to pass the bash command. So if you want to give the bash command, here we are given the keyword called as a bash underscore command. Here, what is the command I'm giving? First one, echo hello one. What is the meaning of echo hello one? This is the command I'm giving. What would be the output we will get with this command?
Hello one. It will the word.
With this, just you are going to get output as a hello one. This is the first one. Next, I'm giving it as a echo hello 2 in the task 2 only. With this, what will happen? I will get output as a hello 2. In the task 3, if you observe, I'm giving the bash command as a printed. What is the meaning of printed here? It will display current date. Indirectly, I am running very basic Unix commands with the help of the first DAG. Andy. Now, what is the intention of this first DAG? Just to explain you or just to understand what is the meaning of the DAG. In that DAG, what all are the activities we are performing? What activities we are performing, as we discussed earlier, Andy? We are giving the schedule information. We are given the start date information. We are creating all the tasks also. All this information we are giving within the DAG only. At the same time, as we discussed earlier, Andy, in between all these tasks, what we need to do? We need to give the dependency. To give the dependency, if you observe, this is the way we can able to pass the dependency. Just we have to give T1 double greater than T2 double greater than T3. What it means indirectly? After completion of T1 only, I want to trigger the T2. After completion of T2 only, I want to trigger the T3. Like that, if you want to define the dependency between the tasks only, just we can able to give the information like this. T1 greater than T2, then greater than T3. This is the way we can able to provide the dependencies between each and every task only. This is the way simply we can able to understand what all are the activities we are going to define as part of your DAG. Okay. Now you tell me overall in this DAG, what are the things we are doing? First one, we are importing some libraries. Second thing, we are creating the DAG object. In the DAG object, what we defined? We created the task. At the same time, we define the schedule interval. At the same time, we define from which date onwards you want to trigger the DAG. At the same time, within the task, what we are defining? within the task, what we are defining? We are defining what activities you want to perform. That information we are defining within the tasks only. But as part of this example, in the first task, what I want to do here? Just I want to give the basic units command. Second task, basic units command. Third tag, basic units command. In the first tag, we'll try to perform the basic activities. With that, we'll try to understand complex activities in our coming classes. Okay. At the same time, in the same tag, we define the dependencies between all the tasks only. Now, by seeing all this information, you try to provide what is the definition of DAG. Try to give this information. By seeing all the content in the previous script, try to give the information how to define the DAG.
Set of tasks scheduled.
DAG is going to contain all set of tasks and
Scheduling.
schedule information and what?
Python operator.
Dependencies information.
Okay.
Okay, so we can able to see all set of tasks and schedule information and dependencies information. All this information we can able to see within the DAG. This is the way simply you can able to understand now what is the meaning of DAG and till 10 to 50 minutes back we are discussing everything in the air and now you can able to correlate everything with the help of this script. This is the script we are going to prepare. In this script we are going to create the DAG object. In the same script we are going to maintain all the tasks. Within the task we are going to provide all our required commands. In the same script we are going to provide the schedule information. In the same script we are going to provide the dependencies between all the tasks and this is the way we need to create the DAG by depending on our requirement. Okay, now what is the next step? DAG is ready. Now what we need to do?
Run the DAG.
We have to upload this to the DAG
As we
folder.
discussed earlier, we need to maintain all the DAGs in a GCS folder. In our own folder or in the default folder, we need to maintain.
Default.
We need to maintain this in the default folder. From where we can able to get the default folder? We need to go to our console. In the console, we are having the GCS path. From console, take the GCS path. In that GCS path, we need to upload the DAG and And before going to do this activity, please observe here. Please open your console, Airflow console and in the Airflow console, for now you can able to see only one DAG called as a Airflow_monitoring. What is the reason? In the Airflow console, you are seeing only one DAG. What is the reason? Because in my DAG folder, I am having the single Python script only. For that reason, you are seeing only single DAG on top of your Airflow console. Now, for example, if I am going to copy this second script, if I'm going to copy this get started .py script into GCS DAG folder, then in the Airflow console, how many DAGs we can able to see then? Then we can able to see automatically 2 DAGs, which is nothing but your Airflow portal is polling with your GCS path only. Whatever the default path we are having, it is polling with the GCS path. In that path, if you are adding any Python script, automatically what will happen? That information we can able to see on top of your Airflow console. We'll see everything practically. What I will do here is, I will share this script in the group.
Sir, the internet got freeze.
So whatever the script we discussed, Randy, just I'm sending the script in the group. Please download that into your local system. In Telegram group, I sent that script. Please download this into your local folder. Second step, upload this file into GCS bucket. Take bucket information from Composer instance. So from where we have to take the bucket information, and so just to you can go to your composer instance. So here you can able to go to your environmental configuration. From here you can able to take the bucket. Otherwise you can able to click on the open DAX folder. So by using that also you can able to take the bucket information. Now you tell me how we need to copy. Do I need to explain that also again? From the local system to GCS, we need to perform the copy of this file. How we need to perform that operation? Just by using the gs util copy command. This is one option. Any other options? Directly you can able to go to the bucket. From there you can able to perform the upload operation. I am assuming that so far you did the copy operation so many number of times by using the gs util. This time just you can able to perform the upload operation. So what I can do here? Just go here, click on the open DAC folder. It will go to the DAC folder directly. There click on the upload option and directly upload the file. No sir, I want to perform the copy operation. If you want, you can perform the copy operation also on your wish. But if you want, you can able to perform the upload operation directly also. Okay. So once you are going to perform the upload operation, it will reflect this DAG into your Airflow console. But to reflect that information, after uploading DAG file into GCS bucket, it will reflect DAG name in your Airflow console. But for this, it will take 30 seconds to 45 seconds time. Okay, so after uploading the file, what you can do, you can go to your Airflow bucket, Airflow console, and in the Airflow console, automatically we can able to see your DAG name. But to get that DAG name, it will take 30 to 45 seconds only, because in backend, every 30 seconds, it will perform full operation on your GCS bucket. That's the reason sometimes it will display within the 30 seconds, sometimes within the 45 seconds, or sometimes within the 15 seconds also you can able to see your DAG information. But if it is not displaying, just to wait for a few seconds only. After a few seconds, you can able to see the DAG information on top of your Airflow console. Okay. So once you are going to see your DAG name here, so for example, here I'm seeing that first DAG only. If you are going to see the DAG name, what we can do here is just click on that DAG. If it is not showing, please wait for some time. After some time, once you are going to see the DAG, please click on that DAG. After that, please click on the graph. Just I will give these steps also. Click on DAG from your console. After that, click on graph. Okay, if you observe here, Andy, once I click on the graph, what I'm seeing, I am seeing all the task information. How many tasks we are having? 3 tasks. Okay, task 1, task 2, task 3. For the task 1, what's the name again? Eco 1. Task 2 I given the name as a Eco 2. Task 3 I given the name called as a date. For some reason, this date task got failed. How you can able to understand got passed or succeeded or failed, and if it is showing the green color, which we can able to call it as a succeeded. If it is failed, we can able to see that information in the red color. This is the way you can able to understand. In the DAG, we can able to see all the task execution status. Whatever the way we are given the dependencies, and that dependency information also we can able to see on top of your DAG. Once you are going to see your DAG information, please click on the DAG. After click on the DAG, please click on the graph information. With that, you can able to see all the task information. If you are having the 10 tasks or 20 tasks or 100 tasks only, all the task information you can able to see on top of your screen. And here you can able to see whether your task is succeeded or whether your task is failed. For example, if it is succeeded, well and good. If it is failed, what we need to do? We need to understand why it got failed, and to understand why it got failed, we need to see the logs. How to see the logs, that will cover as part of our next section. How to see the logs and how to create complex DAGs All this information we'll discuss in next class. So your today's activity is nothing but please create composer instance. Some people are saying that their composer instance is not created. If it is giving any kind of errors, please remove the created composer. After that, try to create the new composer.
Sir, I'm getting errors like IAM roles for
Might be you forgot to enable that checkbox at the beginning. Please enable the checkbox as I mentioned in the steps.
grant, right?
Yeah, grant. You have to enable that.
Yeah, it's enabled.
You need
right?
to enable and you need to click on the grant. Most of the people forgot to click on the grant. For example, after that also if you are facing the issue, what you can do here is please remove the instance and recreate the instance. Sometimes
Sure,
because of the network issues or some other issues also, you will face this kind of problem. If anyone facing the issues as part of creation of composer, please remove the instance and recreate the instance. After that, please do these activities. Second step, please go through the tag which I shared at high level. Third thing, copy this tag to your GCS bucket. After that, wait for 30 to 45 seconds. Then in Airflow, you can see your DAG. After that, click on the DAG and go to graph. Here, you can see status of your DAGs and each task also. So please perform these activities, my sincere suggestion, my sincere request, by seeing this whole Python script, don't get any kind of scary feeling, This is a very simple script, once you can able to understand this script, same script we are going to use for multiple number of examples, it's my responsibility to understand to explain this whole script to you. By seeing this script, don't think that Sir is not explaining all these things. What is the purpose of this today's session? You need to understand what is Airflow, what is the purpose of the Airflow. In the Airflow, how we can able to see the DAX, and in Airflow, how we can able to see the jobs information. In Airflow, how we can able to see the success and failure message. What is the Airflow architecture? To combine all this information, to understand all this information, just I given the sample diagram. By seeing this DAG, don't get any kind of scary feeling. It is very easy to understand once you understand the Python concepts. Okay. So what's the activities you need to perform? You need to perform all these activities. Please create the composer. After that, go through the DAG, and after that, copy the DAG to your GCS bucket. Wait for 30 to 45 minutes, 45 seconds. After that, verify your DAG is showing in the Airflow console or not. If it is showing, please click on the Airflow DAG. Then please go to the graph. Within the graph, you can able to see all the status of your each and every task. Please perform these activities after completion of the class. Okay. Any questions up to here, please ask me.
Sir, can you please correlate this DAG to our structure in flow, so that we'll get some clear picture in this one.
So what is which flow you're asking?
The infrastructure, like what we'll call. Just before we discuss
as part of this DAG, we are not calling any infrastructure. If you observe,
the flow diagram we discussed on
architecture.
Okay,
architecture. Yes,
okay,
sorry,
that I will cover. Yeah, that I will cover in the next session. No issues.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Sir, I'm going to
buckets to Airflow. How it is coming automatically, sir?
Sorry, come again.
From bucket to GCS bucket to Airflow, how it is coming automatically, sir?
Yeah, because here we are having the configuration. So if you see the configuration, so with the help of the configurations, it is doing the polling activity. Earlier I told you, right? So we are having the web server. That web server is going to perform the polling activity on top of our default GCS bucket. With that, automatically it is trying to understand what all are the available DAGs we are having in the DAG folder. With that, it is fetching that information on top of your Airflow console. These activities are taken care by your web server in the internally.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no issues. Any other questions?
Sir, can you repeat the default arguments? Wait.
This
Yes.
one?
Yes.
This one? So this one I haven't discussed, Randy. So we'll discuss about all these things in detail in the coming class. That's the one I'm telling you. So today's task, just to try to understand this DAG at the high level, and just to try to keep this DAG into your bucket folder. After that, just to verify what is happening in the Airflow console only. That is the only task. Forget about the content, whatever we are having in the script. Okay. I will explain each and every line of the code here as part of our coming classes. Is it clear?
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Sir, I just deleted the Airflow Composer and to recreate. I'm still
Okay.
seeing the bucket. So do I need to delete that bucket also, Airflow bucket?
Yeah, you can delete it only. Otherwise, you can leave it. No issues.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the previous issue is I'm seeing IAM roles issue, sir, for the service account.
Yeah, that's the reason. So I think might be you didn't enable or you didn't click on the grant button. That's the reason might be you're seeing that issue. Please take care of that second time. So with that, might be you can able to complete the activity.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So 11:45 we have class, eh?
Yeah, 11:45 we are having the class.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all for now only. So we'll connect at the 11:45. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.